And welcome to episode 11.975, better known as 12. I'm Dan.
I'm Tyler. It's a doce in Spanish, just so we can keep that going.
Dose. Nice. Down for it.
Yeah.
Tyler, appreciate you covering for me last week.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a dozen clients in one day. That was absurd.
Yeah, that was stupid. I don't want to do that again. My clients are awesome, but like after 4 in a row, 4 is my limit. At 3, I'm like, good, still in the game. At 4, I'm like, whoo. After 4, I apologize. You are probably not getting the best service that I like to give.
Yeah.
So
My 2 nights a week, I think I have like 5 or 6 back to back, and sometimes they like overlap, which I'm trying to push my clients into a more tighter of a schedule.
Session? Or?
Well,
okay.
I have been recently wanting to cut back on the hours because there's just some sessions that like I don't need to be there for, and also there's time that I'm missing out on like a lot of other things. So I've been talking to all my clients like, hey, are you okay with dialing it back a little bit? I will keep the number of days that you have going, but like your accessory days, you guys,
You don't need Tyler to watch you do bicep curls.
yeah, you got this. Like I have full faith in all my people now at this point. It's like I really only need to be there because most of them are competitors in strongman at this point.
Right.
I've turned them into at least. So
tricky.
Getting them in on their event days and like telling them they can, like, hey, you need to go a little heavier. Hey, you need to fucking do this. Kind of helps out. But yeah, that's where I'm trying to push because I got some fish I want to fucking start frying, dog.
Yeah.
It's starting to get a little intense in my brain.
Yeah.
With the competitive career and strongman and shit.
Yep. Yeah, it's hard to be competing at the level you want to compete with and have a full-time job and run a bunch of clients.
Yeah, 25 hours of training a week. It's like, hold on. We need to scale this some different way. So talked with my coach a little bit, was like, yeah, I got a whole completely different kind of regimen I'm going to start following. Those are delicious.
Mm-hmm.
I love those, dude. Grayson likes them too. Little Quest protein Reese's cups. Those are pretty good. But yeah, dude. Pretty big ass weekend you and I both had. You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So me and Aaron went down to Music City Fit Expo in Nashville. Have a buddy that I knew through social media, but also kind of know through the kettlebell world that's kind of helping run in that one. And I think they started last year doing Friday and Saturday instead of just Saturday, which Fridays are always going to be a little lighter, but it was a little lighter this year than it had been in the past. But it was a cool event. There was a lot of competitions going on. I was kind of debating in the future. I'm like, run Music City Fitness Expo, run Home Gym Con this year and kind of see which one is more worth the time. So time will tell. But it was cool. I actually made some really good contacts. Found a way to make the Jelts much more cost-effective and scalable, which is nice because the Jelts got a lot of love at the competition.
That's awesome.
That is our lever belt that has jeans on top of it. And you should all buy one. But, right now I make them all myself, so they're pretty labor-intensive. And I think we're going to have a better product, and it will be less labor-intensive here within the next 30 days or so.
Nice.
But
to take down to Louisville, you think?
I don't think they'll be ready by then. But the kettlebells definitely will be. And the kettlebells are going to be a cool item. One of the great things that did happen this weekend is I got a lot of footage of people using the prototype loadable kettlebell we got going on, the Mushroom Bell.
Yeah.
And what we did is we had TVs kind of set in portrait mode. One of them was running like a 2.5-minute video of like the Savage Strength games we did here. So I was trying to get some signups for that. Then the other one was like a 3-minute video of people just swinging my maces and stuff. It happened in the background at all times. So whether we have someone swinging a mace or not, you kind of can see what they do because it's kind of a niche product, right? Like people have maybe seen some mace swinging, but it's not super common yet. We're ahead of the curve, which is cool because then when it blows up, like I'm already here. But that means you have to be the one that makes it blow up, which is kind of a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, man, it was good times. met some really cool people, got some good content. There was, oh my God, I made an enemy.
Let me hear it.
I made an enemy, and he doesn't know it yet, but I'm going to be posting some shit. I'm going to try to get Goob to post some shit too. You follow Goob?
No.
On Instagram. So he basically, all he does is like exposés on shitfluencers.
Okay. So
okay,
so he's like a Duke Gomez kind of guy, or?
No, so Goob U2, I think Goob 2 or something like that. He's got like 1 million followers. He basically like is mostly in the bodybuilding world. But he'll go and find people that are like some fitness influencer woman that's like, grow your glutes in 8 weeks, and then he finds all her photos and they're all like, the door frame is not straight because she's pulled her ass out, you know. Or a dude, there was one this last week where the dude, even in videos, so it's harder to do videos, right, than pictures. But he was doing videos, and in a weird way, normally you look for like the bends around like the muscles where they tried to pull them out and make them bigger, the waist pulled in to look a little more V-tapered. This dude shrunk his head, so his whole body looks way more big and jacked. So he just like,
damn,
like, so he'll DM him first and give him a chance to be like, yeah, man, I'm fucking up. It is what it is. Fuck. Yeah, you got me. You know, and every now and then someone's like that, but most of the time they're like, oh, you're just a hater, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, is this the road you want to go? Look at my account. Let me know if this is the road you want to go. And they are so egotistical and full of their own shit that they're like, they'll block him or whatever. And like, he's got 1 million other people sending him shit.
Right.
So it's like,
that's what he's turned into the hub of bullshit.
You can't block all of his followers.
Yeah.
He's still going to get the info. You're still going to get fucked, man. Yeah. Don't be a piece of shit that lies about what you do, and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
So there was this, we were right next to JB, who's Freedom Strength Sandbags.
He sponsored PSL this weekend.
Yep. He is getting to where he's sponsoring everything. He was on Mark Bell's podcast not too long ago, apparently.
Yeah. That's a good connection that you and I have. Yeah,
he's a really good dude. Just blue-collar guy. He was a roofer. And he's still, I think he's kind of like a supervisor of roofers now, and he does this kind of on the side, but it's been growing for him, and he's doing great, and his sandbags are awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he has like a whole fucking team because he can't make all those sandbags on his own, you know?
So he has a manufacturer and a supplier that sends them to him.
But
it's his designs. It's his, kind of like what I'm doing with my maces, right? Like I made the designs, Hank welded some up for me, but like, I'm not just the dude in the shop fabricating everything. You know, I'm trying to scale it so I have fabricators make it,
100%.
So anyways, we always, when we do a thing, try to be next to each other because we're homies. And link in bio, by the way, best sandbags in the fucking game.
Period.
Legit. I actually have a 225 and a 250 for us that we need to fill.
Yeah.
So he had sandbags out, and he sets them in front of his booth so people fuck with them all day. It's always fun to watch. It's a good time. Me and him will go out there and get like a little workout in, And he had,
what was his biggest one he had out there?
225. Okay. This is where the story matters, because the biggest one he had out was 225. He had 50 pounds and then 25-pound increments all the way up to 225. The white one was 150. The one after it was 175, and it just went like that. There was some dude there that won like Tennessee's Strongest Man. Fucking good at sandbags. Like moved the 225 like you and I moved the 225. Maybe faster than me. Probably about like you. And so this guy came up that I guess he's known for a long time. Real tall guy, like 6'7", about 200 pounds. Like very like aesthetic. Like in shape dude. 6'7", not real thick. Probably not going to be that good at sandbags. You got to move that shit real far. But he was shouldering them. And he approached JB and he goes, hey, I'm an influencer. And I know internally JB is like rolling his fucking eyes out because like, dude, this is a roofer. He did shit for his money before he got to get going. Motherfuckers introducing themselves as an influencer, 99% of the time, piece of shit.
Right.
So he's like, yeah, here's my account. Check it out. And JB's like, cool. He's got like 7,000 followers or something. Hunter Davis official _ by the way, on Instagram. We'll tag his account. He blocked me, but he can't block the link. And he's got 7,000 followers, but he's got some views in like the millions on some of his videos. And like he ends up getting, 15 to 30,000 likes per video, which if you have 7,000 followers, I mean, you're buying that shit. You're buying those likes and views, hoping that eventually people are like, oh shit, this guy goes viral. And yeah, he's 100% a poser. Anyway, so he does a video where it's him and the strongman guy are facing off, and he's like towering over him because he's 6'7", right? And he's like, sandbags versus Alabama's strongest man, which isn't even the thing, but whatever. So first lift, he shoulders 200. It was the 175. On the right side of the screen, you can see there's a gap, and then there's two more heavier sandbags. That would be the 200 and the 225. And then the other guy goes, shoulders it, 200. That's still the 175. And then he does the same thing. 225, that's the 200-pound bag, because you can see the 175 is back, there's a gap, and then the 225.
And this is at the expo?
At the expo.
Okay.
And you can see me in the background watching. So it's like, I watched it. I know what bags were there. I watched you do it. I cleaned and pressed the 225 bag with you standing right there 2 minutes after that video. So they do the same thing, and basically he's given an extra 25 pounds to himself on everything. Now, there weren't a lot of people that could do the 225 bag. And this tall-ass, skinny, gangly, aesthetic, pretty boy motherfucker did it, right? So, like, congratulations. You're 200 pounds, you don't do strongman, you don't do sandbags, and you did a 225-pound bag. That's good. Just post that.
Yeah. Don't lie.
Yeah, and then and he ended up saying it was 250, and it was a struggle for him, but, like, not a crazy struggle. He did good. And then it has the other guy do 250, real easy, right? Which was 225. And then the next video is like, what the fuck? And then it has the dude do the 225 again, the strongman guy, and rips it up there like a motherfucker. 300 pounds.
He gave that guy
75 fucking pounds.
Damn. You think that guy knew that?
So the plot thickens here, right? So
I love this.
So JB like showed me the video. He's like, honestly, I thought he was gonna try to get me to pay him to like tag me or some shit, but he just wanted to use my stuff and if it was okay. And I was like, hell yeah, whatever. If it ends up being a couple extra views on my equipment and I get a couple sales, why the hell not? He's like, but then yeah, he tagged me in the video as like a collab, and JB watched it and he goes, those aren't the right weights to himself. He's thinking this and he goes, no way in hell I'm going to fucking repost that. So JB didn't post it again because, like, JB takes this shit serious.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the dude in the comments, they're like, oh, man, blah, 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 good job. Everyone's sucking dicks. And he tags the strongman guy, Enlightened Viking. And he's legit. He's a legit strongman. I'm not saying anything against that guy by any means. He didn't discuss what weights the fucktard was going to label, right? He just was part of the program. So I was like, man, do I just get on there and just start immediately fucking burning this dude in the comments? And I'm like, nah, let's DM first. Let's give him a chance. Give him a chance to like reason back or like be like, oh fuck, I didn't know what they were. I just felt heavy. Even though you could have just, I don't know, looked at the label.
The tag right on top of the fucking bag.
Or asked the guy whose booth it was, hey, how much was that, So he didn't respond. And it was, I forget what I'm going to put an expose video out on it and you can read exactly what I said. But I was basically like, dude, come on. Don't be a shitfluencer. We both know this was the amount there. That's me in your video right there. And then, so then he tags the strongman guy and he's like, oh yeah, Enlightened Viking always making me push. And then the dude kind of was like, oh yeah, right there with you, brother, kind of going along with it. And it's like, dude, if you watch that video, okay, I'm coming at Enlightened Viking a little bit right now. You should have DM'd him and been like, bro, really? But whatever. It's not your video. You didn't put it up. It's whatever. You didn't want to call him out in front of everybody. I am not above that petty shit, though.
No, neither would I be.
Yeah. Well, because for me, it's like fake weights and fake lifts piss me off. Like, I've benched 507 raw in competition. You can look it up. That is a legit number. And whenever I go to bar and someone asks me how much I bench and I say 507, they knew a guy or they did in high school more than that. And there's no fucking way you did because I'd probably know your name.
Yeah, exactly.
So I hate that shit. That shit gets under my skin. and I want to set him on fire.
Well, it's because you and I both know what it fucking takes to get to
Yeah.
a level of strength like
The
that.
amount of sacrifice to be able to do what he pretends that he's doing. Not that he isn't putting in the work, but he isn't putting that work. Like, it cheapens what we do.
Yeah.
And that pisses me off.
Yeah, 100%.
So anyway, so I DM'd him. I was, hey, motherfucker, what's going on? But more politely than that. But definitely called him a shitfluencer in print. And he didn't respond. But I could see he looked at it. And then I was like, all right. I went back to the comments. And some dude was like, oh, man, just it's crazy. I mean, he of course was going to lift more than you. His technique was flawless. He was so much, this is his game, but you did real good, man. 250's legit. And I commented under, I was like, well, I mean, actually they tied since the biggest bag there was 225. You can see me right behind the booth there. The heaviest bag was 225. So they tied. But yeah, the strongman guy did a lot faster. You're right. Comment deleted like an hour later.
Damn.
So I'm like, how many people saw it though?
Yeah, at least a few.
But he didn't block me. So I was like, oh yeah. And then about an hour later, I went and I commented, and I was like, did like the emoji face.
I love that one.
Dot. And I was like, weird. I visited that booth, and I thought they only had up to 225. Deleted. And then I went back there, and I put the same thing I DM'd him. I put in the comments, and that was a little more like, you motherfucker, why are you being a lying piece of shit?
Yeah.
That got deleted too, but he still didn't block me. And I'm like, wow. All right.
You follow him?
He blocks me now.
Oh, but like you did follow him.
I followed him and I looked at the post and shit.
Gotcha.
That is a, what did I say his name was?
Harley Dave or
No, Hunter Davis official _.
I said
give
Harley Davidson.
Give him a follow. Give him some love, guys.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, well, let me take a different track because this guy's just deleting my shit. I'm going to reach out to Enlightened _Viking, strongman competitor, legitimate strongman competitor, actually fucking good at what he does. And I was like, hey, man, I don't know if you're aware or not, but like, you're legit. We both saw each other lift these weights. We know what these weights were. Are you like cool with him doing that? Like, are you aware he's doing that? And he's like, oh man, yeah, I've known Hunter for like 10 years. He's just kind of, you just don't know what that kid. And I was like, he's like, honestly, he probably thought they were 25 pounds heavier than they were. And I was like, okay, but like I let him know and he deleted my comments and isn't responding to my DMs and he knows now. And it's been like a day and that video is still up. And did he think the bag that he just lifted got 75 pounds heavier for you?
Right.
And he was like, dude, my social media is very little because I hate this shit, which respect.
Yeah.
He's like, I just do my thing and let people do theirs and I don't stress about it. And I was like, all right, all good, man. No disrespect to you, but like your friend of a decade is a fucker.
Yeah.
And we parted ways fine. And this dude's sponsored by a couple people. And I was like, hey, you guys might want to check, your athlete's page because this is pretty much bullshit. I'm right there. Here's what happened. He's lying his ass off. If I was giving someone money or free stuff, I wouldn't love my name to be associated with someone doing a bunch of fake shit online, just so you know.
Yeah.
And they hadn't responded to my knowledge yet, but as soon as I talked to the strongman guy, I got blocked. So I'm like,
by Hunter.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know if that Hunter guy just finally blocked me or if this dude's actually a bitch.
Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows?
I wouldn't even fucking worry about him. But yeah, that shit's annoying.
Yeah.
God damn.
So.
Wow. That's so aggravating.
And like, I'm petty, dude. I am petty.
I mean, dude, I totally understand.
If I had the resources, I would find out where he actually works. I would buy the business. I would fire him. And I would sell the business back to the previous owner for $1 with the stipulation they never hire him again. And anytime his name comes up, or if you have anyone else that you know in town that owns a business, promise they will not hire him. That is the level of petty I am. Because, like, this shit drives me nuts. Like, this is the fitness industry. Like, everyone wants to be in shape. No one wants to do what it takes. You're telling them it's easy. I hate that fucking shit.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. I'm sorry. That was a huge story, but like.
What competitions were down there?
So they had a strongman.
Okay.
They had an arm wrestling that was pretty cool. Gives us some ideas for chalk and all, actually.
Good. And that was like, to me, in my opinion, the main, like, without saying it, I was like, hopefully he just, like, I went to the gym I weighed in at. Dude, it's like exactly what you and I have talked about. I was like, I took a video of it. I'll show you later, but like Southside Barbell down in Virginia Beach, badass gym. Jake Fish owns it. He's cool as fuck. But like, I was hoping that you'd go down there and kind of be like, gather some ideas, kind of like the same thing we're going to go do in South Dakota if we go in July, which I'm still 100%.
Look, I wasn't 90% just being a petty bitch the whole time.
No, I know you weren't, but I'm just saying, like, that was what I was like. I hope he goes down there, takes some mental notes, and we can fucking put something badass on.
So I definitely had some ideas. So the arm wrestling thing for Chalk and Awe, the way we were talking before I left, probably isn't going to happen because my understanding on how the entry fee splits were wrong. Basically, we would pay them that lump sum we talked about, and they get all the entry fees. And somehow we're supposed to not lose our asses on it, which is impossible. So what they did down there, because I was talking to the guys running the arm wrestling, and they just did it inside one of the booths that was there. But they had 2 tables, and they basically contacted the top 10 people in all weight classes in Tennessee, and were like, hey, challenge match. You're the top 10 fuckers. Let's see, baby.
Yeah. Maybe throw like a little bit of money at it.
Yeah.
Couple cash prizes.
Yeah.
Couple, like, just, I mean, we have tons of equipment. Like, hey, you get some of these grip things, or, you know.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
So I'm thinking that's probably the way to go here for Chalk and Awe.
And we could get sponsors for, I mean, Arm Assassin.
Oh, yeah.
People like that.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and I'll talk to him. We'll see him at Home Gym Con, too.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be so awesome, dude. I cannot wait for that.
Yeah, and I'm doing the grip contest, and he's got a lot of shit in there, too.
Strongman arm wrestling.
They had strongman arm wrestling, weightlifting. They had powerlifting. I'm smiling right now because they also had sumo wrestling.
No fucking way.
Dude. Sumo
Actual
wrestling.
sumo wrestlers are just dudes.
Actual sumo wrestlers. So they had one dude that's like a former pro. He's like 500 pounds in his fucking diaper, just chilling in a chair. The chair like screaming for its dear life.
That is amazing.
And okay, so you know sumo wrestling, they got like the big wedgie diapers.
Mm-hmm.
So some of them just like fucking rolled with it. They're like, dude, this is my ass, and it's on this chair, and I don't care. Big ass, lots of hair.
What are you gonna do? Push me off of it?
Right? Yeah, it's just good. It's gonna collapse in a minute anyway. You're gonna get like a fucking leg up the butthole, but yeah. So there were those guys, and then there were guys that were wearing like boxer briefs. So it was almost like Jane Fonda aerobics time, where the thong was outside the underwear. It kind of looked like that.
Nice.
And there was one after the competition, dude was doing sandbags at JB's booth while he was doing checkout for another guy. And JB looked over because it's like, it's a sumo wrestler lifting the 225 sandbag. Like you, and I was like, I got you. And I filmed it. And then after he goes, yeah, the guy I was selling the bag to was like, hey, if you need a second to film this, that's okay. And JB's like, no, not from this angle.
Yeah.
Because his ass was like right at him. But that was fun to watch, man. That shit's like those guys are super explosive.
Yeah,
it's a pretty cool sport.
Oh, yeah. And there's a bunch of techniques and shit to it too. Like I've definitely dove in on some sumo wrestling on the YouTube.
It's like one-on-one offensive linemen.
Dude, it's
like, that's
so
what
badass.
It is. It's cool.
It's so cool. No, that sounds fun.
It was a good time.
That was in Nashville, yeah?
Yep.
Hell yeah. Yeah, one of the dudes, he owns Music City Strength down there. His name's Blake Harris. He might have put on the Strongman show.
Possible.
Real long beard. I mean, he looks like a strongman. Hat's always backwards.
They had a CrossFit show too.
Oh, okay. But I love every time I've gone to Nashville to train or be a part of anything. Like, it's been really cool. He's done a good job. But yeah, dude.
Now,
you mind if I dive in?
I was about to say, Dan's done being petty. Let's talk about some actual cool shit.
Okay, so we left on Wednesday morning. We got our rental. We got about an hour and a half away, which is Frankfort, Indiana, from here. We actually passed it by Sheridan, actually. And then my boss from the National Guard calls me, and he's like pitching a fit because the dude that I had sent to MEPS apparently like qualified, and he was mad that I didn't have everything he needed squared away to enlist because I didn't send him down there to enlist. Long story short, I had to come back an hour and a half.
Oh my God!
Get my computer and stuff. My dad met me at Menards in West Lafayette and handed me the stuff, and we ended up getting back on the road on our trip at like 1:30 p.m. It's like a 12-hour drive without stops. And so we go through that whole drive. We get there. We get to our hotel. It's like 2:30 or 3 in the morning on Thursday morning, which I weighed in at 10 a.m. that morning. So I had about 4 or 5 hours of shut-eye before I had to get up and go get weighed in, which luckily I'm not anywhere near going overweight. I actually weighed in at 104 kilos, which is like 3 pounds light.
Dang.
Than my weight class.
Yeah.
So I weighed in a little light, but I just knew it was due to I was just underhydrated and everything. It was okay. But so we pull into our hotel though, and the hotel that I booked, Howard Johnson was the name of this hotel. Fuck that place, dude.
Really?
Like we pull
Hell
up.
yeah, you get to be petty
Dude,
too. Let's go.
Oh, dude, you'll love this. So we pull up, and on the first floor, there's a door open, and there's like 6 or 7 people, and they're out there like dancing, doing drugs, being loud, being fucking ridiculous. And it's like 2:30 in the morning on a fucking Thursday morning. And yes, we're in Virginia Beach. Yes, it's vacation time. Have your fun, by all means. I don't fucking really care about that.
Right.
I'm going up to the 4th floor because this is an outdoor hotel. Your door opens straight to the outside. So I guess motel. I don't know.
Yeah,
but,
motel. Yep.
And as soon as we pull in, Emma's like, "Is this place sketchy?" And I was like, "It looks like it." And like right across the street was a DoubleTree by Hilton. So we'll get there. So I'm going up in the elevator to the 4th floor to grab this dolly to get our bags into our room.
Okay.
I went and checked in before this, and it was a fat-ass Indian dude with earphones in playing video games at the desk, which pissed me the fuck off right the fuck away because I walked up to him, and it's like, you're not fucking doing anything, bro, and no one's in here. Why am I standing here for 3 minutes while you just finish your game?
Yeah.
I'm just standing there like, what are you doing? And I can't understand him. Like, there's always a communication barrier.
Right.
He stands up. He like takes my information. He gives me my card. He's being just shitty. He has a terrible attitude. And he's like younger than me looking. And so anyway, I go up to get that dolly. As I'm getting out of the elevator, grabbing the dolly and pulling it back in, I hear a man on the floor above me yelling like violently. I get back in the elevator. I go down to the bottom floor. I come back out to the car. Emma is like shaking, dude. She's like, her voice is quivering. Apparently the floor right above me, the dude that was yelling violently shoved a woman to the ground.
Damn.
And then she got up and like started to try to run away. And she's like, "Tyler, we can't stay here." So my kids are asleep in the back seat, thankfully. And I go get my gun, put one in the chamber, put it in my waistband. And now I'm just preparing myself for anything fucking crazy to happen. And so I was like, she's like, "Can we please stay somewhere else?" And I was like, "Yeah, like that's fine." So
you're like, "Come on, babe, I already got one in the chamber. It'll be okay."
We go across the street. We go over to DoubleTree Hilton by Hilton, and I walked in there. It was a fucking immaculate hotel with a baller ass sushi restaurant. Like, it was fucking beautiful. Should have just booked there first.
Right.
And I started talking to her. I was like, "Hey, we need to get a room until this day. Is that available?" She's like, "Yeah, absolutely." Helps me out. Gets everything good. I was like, "Okay, I'll be back to unload my bags. I got to go across the street and cancel my reservation over there." So we go back over there. Emma parks right in front of the lobby. I get out.
Right.
I go in. I was like, "Hey, bro, cancel my shit." And he's like, "Oh, what do you mean?" And I was like, "Dude, you got people out there fighting. You got people out there doing drugs, being loud as fuck on the first floor." He's like looking over at the cameras and stuff. He's like, "I don't see anything." I was like, "You've been looking at your game the whole time. That's why. Like, cancel my shit right now." And I like tossed the room keys at him. And I was like, "I got fucking kids in the car. My wife's freaking the fuck out. Like, this ain't cool, bro.
Right.
Like, you're running a shit fucking program right now." And he's like, "You're going to need to call customer service, Expedia." He's like, "That's where you book, so that's where you get your refund." And I was like, "Perfect." So I leave. I pull up Expedia's customer service number, and I was like, "You know what? I'm going to do this first." I call that lobby. He answers the phone. He goes, "Hello, Howard Johnson, blah, blah, blah." I was like, "Hey, bitch." I was like, "This is the customer service number I got." I was like, "So can you cancel my shit?" He's like, "No, I already told you, blah, blah, blah." I was like, "No, I know." I was like, "I have Expedia's customer service number. I just want you to know that you're a fat piece of shit, and you probably shouldn't be playing fucking video games while you're on the job. Like, you're a worthless piece of shit. Like, I don't even know how the fuck you have a job, faggot." And then, and then he hung up on me. And so My wife is like, "Did you need to?" I was like, "I needed to. I needed to get that out." And it's like almost 4 a.m. at this point, and we hadn't slept. And so I call Expedia. I call Expedia, and go figure. Go figure. When I call Expedia, there's another language barrier, and we're trying to get this discussed. And she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna need to call Howard Johnson and confirm that the cancellation's good." And I was like, okay. And she puts me on hold. I look over at him. I was like, I hope I didn't fuck that up. So
Worth it.
She comes back on the phone like 3-4 minutes later. She's like, all right, sir, we're all good. She's like, the money will be back in there within 48 hours, whatever. And so we were all good. We got to stay at a nice DoubleTree hit by Hilton hotel. Had the most ballin' sushi I've ever had.
Nice.
It was great. So let's get to the good part. Okay. I weigh in. We do the thing. We have our rules meeting that night. We're all 30 of us are out there for the rules meeting. I'm looking around and I'm like, you know how the whole time I've been telling you, like, I always feel like the small guy?
Right.
I didn't this time.
Ooh.
I like was looking around and I was like, I don't think I'm little anymore. As little, you know? I was like, I think I'm fucking, I started to.
You'll always be little to me, sir.
I always, okay, like 2 weeks leading into the show, I was getting those tiny bits of like, self-doubt, like how am I going to do, what's going to happen, blah blah blah. When I got there, those all started to dissipate, and it was so good to like see everybody again,
right?
And like everyone that hadn't seen me competed in like 2 years like came up to me like, dude, we're so fucking glad you're here, it's so good to see you.
Oh yeah.
And I just started like feel really fucking good. And we go back, I fucking carved the fuck out. John Heck, my coach, was giving me some pointers on shit to do, and like my nutrition this week for competition was on point, dude. I didn't once cramp, I didn't once get fatigued. I felt fucking amazing over 10 events.
That's crazy.
And so we kick off the competition with a max axle clean and press. I ended up 2 dudes tied for first at 385, and then I got 371. Took second place, but third place points. So it started off hot, but then the axle squat came, and
yeah, I saw this.
I went up to Bobby Thompson. Before, like right as they were setting up for axle, and I was like, hey, Bobby, you're one of the smartest dudes I've ever spoken to about strongman strategy. What is your opinion on me just not taking this squat? He's like, do you think you have it? And I was like, Bobby, I got stapled with 540 in training, so I can't hit 620. There's no fucking way. I was like, plus they have my box height so low. Like,
yeah,
I was a little below.
Buried.
I was like, I was going to get buried. There's no point in me getting all geared up to go out there and just zero. And my pec was a little tight from the axle clean and press. So,
well, an axle's a bigger stretch than a barbell anyway, and you were squatting with an axle, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so I told Bobby, I was like, hey, scratch my name from this event. Because he told me, he's like, Tyler, there's 10 events. He's like, when I did Strongest Man on Earth, he's like, there was 10 events, and there were plenty of pro heavyweights that skipped an event because there's 10 events.
Right.
Like, you can make those points back. He's like, I think it's a smart move. He's like, if you think you absolutely don't have it, smart move. So I took that whole time to go get some body work done by Body by Mariah. She was awesome. I wish we had a clone of her up here. And then I got some food. And I watched them all squat, and there were dudes out there hitting fucking 13, 15, 18 reps. Nick Hine got 18 reps.
Jesus Christ.
And
yeah, even if you could have gotten like 1 or 2, it wouldn't have fucking mattered.
Well, it would have drastically changed points because there were so many zeros. Like the guy that got 1 rep ended up getting like 18 points instead of just 2.
How many people were there in your division?
30.
Damn.
So if you win all 10 events, there's 300 points up for grabs.
Wow.
So it's a big scoring event. So I just sat out from the axle squat, and like I said, I refueled, got my mind right, got my body right. And I was first to go because I got last. I was first to go on the sandbag to shoulder event.
Oh, that's your baby, though.
Or sandbag to lap. I did some quick math. I was like,
yeah, I saw you just went lap like a motherfucker.
Yeah. I was like, dude, you could lap this 7 or 8 times and get points that no one's going to beat. Because these dudes that just did 18, 15, 13 squats, they all weren't even really able to get it to their shoulder because they would have been smoked.
What was the points? So how many points have you lapped it? How many points?
48 points to lap the 350, 100 points to shoulder it. You go down to the 325 to shoulder that, it was only like 36.
Okay.
points,
So you
and then
just
to
lap
lap
the hell out of
to
it.
lap that, it was like 24, and then the last 2 bags were like single digit points.
So in the 350, what was your lap score if you got one?
48 points.
Oh.
So I just lapped it like a motherfucker.
So you made more points lapping than you did shouldering the 325?
Yes.
Fuck.
So that was a little bit of a
Smart.
I think Tyler Purdue should have refined the scoring on it a little bit.
Yep, because it definitely made it so it was way more advantageous.
But I
just lap
I
it.
took the rules and I strategized and I fucking kicked ass at that event.
You played the game.
Had I not gone first, I probably would have fucking won, because all of them, when I got done, they're like, dude, are you allowed to do that? And I was like, yeah, lapping, it's worth points, isn't it? They're like, yeah, but I didn't even like think of that. I was like, yeah, you guys are fucking lucky I went first.
Be a
like
complete athlete.
I was walking around telling them all, I was like, y'all are motherfuckers are lucky I went first. You're lucky I went first.
Yep.
And
because if you went last and did that, you would have murdered everybody.
I would have known exactly how many points I needed, and I would have lapped it exactly how many times I needed to.
What did you get in that event?
Top 5. I think I got 4th or 5th.
Hell yeah.
Just lapping. And
that's so cool.
Yeah, dude. I got top 5 finishes on everything except deadlift and squat. Go figure. So after the sandbag, we were transitioning into farmers chain drag. I did well on that event. I had a top, I think I got 6th on that one maybe, but I had a very fast time. It was like 22:56.
Nice.
Winning time was like 17:68 by Alec. That dude was fucking unreal. And then we got to stones, and the dude. So we go out and we do our stone run. There's 4 stones, 300, 325, 350, 375 over a 52-inch bar.
Right.
And everyone was like struggling, slipping on the 3rd stone. And I was like, everyone was like, I hate when something like that happens. If you were able to like be there, you would have really noticed how much I separate myself from the group, because I'm not with all that chatter.
Yeah.
I'm not with all that mental turmoil shit, dude. Fuck you. Don't talk to me. Like,
right.
We're competing. Leave me alone. If we're in between events, you want to chat, I'll chat. We're not talking about this shit, though. I'm not telling you my strategy. I'm not. I'm just not.
Right. Especially at this level.
Yeah, Matt McQuiston, he was a favorite for the top 5 easily. He ended up tweaking his knee on the first event, so he was just sitting and watching.
That sucks.
But he comes up to me. He's like, hey, make sure you pre-tack those stones. I was like, I already know. He's like, because I told him my plan. I was going to try to one motion the first 3 and then load the 4th one just kind of normally but quick. Yep. He's like, be careful, one motion in that 3rd. I was like, stop. I was like, all you have to do is hug harder, okay? And he was like, all right. Like, he just knew I didn't want to hear it. Yep. I go out there and fucking blaze it. 3 or 4 dudes before me, Josh Harrelson went. I competed against him in Denver. Okay. He 3rd to me on the podium at Olympic City.
Okay.
I got 2nd and Gabe got 1st. He goes and he had a fucking blistering time. It was like 1580 something.
Jesus.
And I go out there and I do my run. I got 1545. So now I'm the leader.
Hell yeah.
I come off the stone platform. I fucking scream, let's go. I'm looking at all the competitors like, I'm the fucking king. I was like, one of you motherfuckers beat it. One of you motherfuckers beat it. And then
you're like, and then one of the motherfuckers did.
All of them were like hyped up. They were like cheering and shit. Like, that's just like the, I wasn't being a dick. I was just playing the WWE game, you know?
Yep.
Brandon Burley comes out, and this dude fucking crushed. I traded jerseys with him. I don't know if you saw that. Like, we all had 2 comp shirts. At the end of the competition, I went up to him and was like, hey, man, you know how in the NFL they swap jerseys?
Yep.
I would really like your T-shirt if you want mine. I was like, you're the only motherfucker here that beat me at my best shit. And I did that right in front of Alec, who won the show. And at first, right after we did that, I was like, damn, I wonder if I pissed Alec off by doing that. But him and Nick Hine were duking it out all day for 1st and 2nd, which Burley ended up taking 2nd because he had like 4 event wins.
Wow.
They swapped shirts. But so like that was the sentimental part of that. But he gets like 14 something, and I'm sitting there getting, bless you. He's getting tacky, or I'm getting tacky off on the beach, and Brandon gets done. He's fucking screaming and hollering and shit. And I just yell, I'm like, before this, I told Emma, I was like, Emma, if anyone beats my time, I will bow to them. And she's like, I don't think anyone. And then as we're talking, Brandon goes, he fucking smokes it. I'm like, God damn it. And I was just like, why can't I get 1 win? I just want 1, okay? And but I yell, I'm like, Brandon. And I just like, I'm on the beach behind everybody. I'm just like bowing. I'm just doing this. And he just like laughed or whatever. And I came up and gave him a big hug. I was like, dude, way to fucking go. Like, fuck you, but way to go. Because every time someone would like chip me off, I'm like, hey, I always told Alec, I'm like, Alec, fuck you, dude. Like, Brandon, fuck you, man.
But nice
like,
work.
Come on, dude. Let me win one. Just one. But no. And then we end day one, and I'm in 6th place by skipping an event.
Yeah.
I did 4 of 5 events, and I'm still sitting in 6th. And I was like, dude, let's go. And like the belief started coming, and like it was crazy. So day 2 rolls around. We had a later start time. Mind you, day 1 was 7.5 hours of competition.
Fuck.
Because it was a max event, and then there was a lot of logistical shit going on. The live stream was down, all that kind of shit. They had someone pull out for their live stream 10 days before the event.
That's ridiculous.
He had like a wedding. I don't know. Legitimate reason, but like a little more heads up, please. And
especially at like that high of a level.
Right.
Oh,
we show up for day
sucks.
2. Day 2 kicks off with the elevating deadlift. I got stuck with 675. I could not get it hitched up. I got out of position. Something. It just wasn't there that day.
Right.
And
Did you use the suit?
I wasn't allowed.
Oh, okay.
I thought I was allowed, but I wasn't. And after I sat there and tried to get 675 for 25 whole seconds,
Jesus,
literally sitting on my knees trying to pull. Brandon Burley, of course, was going against me, and I just sat it down. I just put my hands on my hips, and I'm just watching him go to work on 750.
Right.
He got all the way to 750, hit it for like 2 or 3. I'm just like, dude, bravo. I didn't move from my position because there were a lot of zeros, so I was still in 6th. I had a point spread difference, though, because the guy in 5th got like 16 points away from me on that.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, fuck, I might be out of contention for the top 5, which, come to find out, I didn't make top 5. I got 6th,
right.
But I was only 3 points behind 5th. So I like fought back a little.
Closed up pretty good.
Yeah, I had a very good performance. I just need to get statically stronger. But event 2, we go into the Fingal's finger. And in warm-up, dude, I couldn't even pick it up. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Why can't I get a hold of this thing? And I look around, everyone's got gloves on. And I'm like, you motherfucker, I forgot. So I went up to Connor Pennington, who him and I had been messaging a lot before the show because him and I did the online qual. He and I were the only ones that got invited via online qual.
Okay.
And he ended up taking 10th. He shocked the world with his performance because he is the little guy.
Yeah.
Because he cut down, he was 315 pounds in 2021. And he's cut all the way down to 215 pounds. Okay, and now he's building back. He's building back up. He weighed in at 231, but he's building back up to. But he's got all the skin and stuff. He's like, I'm just trying to, build the muscle back and all that. I'm like, dude, you crushed. So good job. But I borrowed his gloves, and he fucking helped me out. And I was like, dude, thank you so much. But we had 2 fingers,
right?
320, 340,
and it was like flip twice, right?
Flip twice. Move on to the next one. Flip twice. I got those gloves on. In warm-ups, I picked it up. I was like, okay, I can pick it up. We're good. And then when adrenaline happens, you just get a surge of strength.
Right.
So my first clean on the Fingal's finger, I over-cleaned it, and then it fucking fell down and hit me in my sternum.
Oof.
Bro, it hurt. Like, as we sit here right now, like, breathing deep, my chest is hurting. But it didn't really register to me how bad it fucking hurt because I was like, I want to win. So I did my second clean and push, and then reps 3 and 4, and right. I took the lead in my heat. I think I took 4th in that event. 3 other dudes ended up coming out and doing a little bit better of a time, but I crushed that, and I came off. I took the gloves off right away because Connor was next. I put them on him, and then I start walking off, and like all of a sudden I'm like, I can't breathe. Like, I can't take a deep breath. This shit hurts. Like, what the fuck? I take all my stuff off. I take my shirt off. David Johns, who's Nick's dad, for lack of a better term, the one he was talking about on the last podcast, his like old man that helps him out, and Nate Borgat, who's Matt Powell's trainer.
Okay.
He came over. They both came over like, you all right? And I was like, dude, I don't know what the fuck happened. I can't fucking breathe. Like, this is. So Nate starts touching my sternum. He's like, it doesn't feel broke. He's like, but what happened is you probably have a bone bruise. Like, you probably just smashed your sternum real hard. And so like my next events are yoke and log. Yoke run into 3 reps on the log. Oof, 800, 300, and then the keg toss, which is a huge chest stretch.
Big stretch, yep.
And then a sandbag load over the bar for time.
It's a lot of compression.
And I was just like,
between
dude,
the log and the sandbag smushing and the other one. Yeah,
I was like, dude, I don't know what's going to happen. So call it what you want, but I just like literally sat there and prayed about it. I think you saw the messaging group. Yep. I was just like, what? Like, please help me finish this show. Like,
Right.
God, please help me finish this show. And then there's the voice in my head was like, you got to fucking try. You just got to fucking try. Like, go fucking try. Stop being,
Right.
Don't worry about yourself right now. Just go do.
God literally just said, stop being a pussy.
Stop being a bitch, dude. Let's go. And so I went out there. I grabbed 2 warm-up clean and presses on the log at 200 and 240. Felt fine. It didn't touch my sternum. It didn't bother me.
Nice.
My first pick on a yoke was already at 800 pounds. I just picked it up, sat it down. I was like, I'm fucking ready. And I just went and sat down, put my legs up, and I waited until I was in the hole. And then I started getting my shit back on. I go out there and I run yoke and do log against Nick Hine. And he photo finish, dude.
Yeah,
like he got
close.
half a second faster than me. He blew me out of the water on the yoke, but when we got to the log, he's like, dude, my legs were gone. But we got to that. I finished that, did really well. I got all 3 reps. The winner of the show didn't even get all 3 reps. I think he clean and pressed the log 5 times, but only got 1 down call.
Wow. He just,
because he was trying to viper, and then he wouldn't wait for the down call. He would viper, and as soon as he locked out, he was just coming back down. And and of course it was Chad Coy. He goes,
he's pretty strict.
He's like, no. And the other judge was Bobby.
And he doesn't give a shit.
The other judge was Bobby Thompson. He was strict as fuck.
Well, because he's like overhead press guy.
Yeah.
You're not going to fuck around on
Bobby
that
always,
for him.
on the axle clean and press and the log, after I got done both times, he's like, Mr. Pruitt, those are textbook lockouts. He's like, very good job. I was just like, I love you, dude. Thank you. And
did you tell him he needs to come play with his log?
well, I'll tell you about that. And we get to the keg toss, and I got 5 of the 6 over. I went to throw the last one, and I felt a pop in my sternum, and was like, dude, I had like 15 seconds. I threw it. It went under the bar. If I would have been like a foot closer, I think my peak would have gotten right over the bar.
Yep.
But I just looked back at it, and I looked at the time, and I kind of walked out and just did one of those, like, clap to myself. And Bobby's like, you're not going to take it? And I was like, and I just like walked over to him, and I was like, I ain't got it. He's like, all right, smart. And so I walked off. Then we get to the sandbag load over bar. And remember when I was telling you it was going to turn into a knockout situation?
Yeah.
Well, there was a tornado warning coming. And so we only did 1 run, fastest time wins. And then it was only the top 10. So it was going to be 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in points.
Mm-hmm.
But to make it more even and fair for people at the bottom to catch people at the top, they multiplied everyone's points by 3. Okay. So winning that event got you 30 points.
Was weighted, yeah.
Yes, which I thought was smart. Matthew McKeegan came up with that. He's like I'm 11.5 points off podium right now. He's like, there's no reason for me to go out there and do it because I can't catch the podium. And he was trying to tell Tyler, he's like, you need to do this or do something else to make this more like possible for people.
Right.
And so they ended up doing that. They did 1 run, multiplied the points by 3. I was going against Aiden Howell, who is like notoriously a speed demon with sandbags and stuff like that. And he was going for the world record press. He almost pressed 421 on the axle. Damn. And so my whole entire goal was like, I'm going to beat you, dude. Fuck you. Like, so there was a 245, 285, and a 325 bag. They didn't care which order you picked and loaded them over the bar in. So I started with the heavy one. And so did he. And we're running. We both load the 325 at the same time. We run back. We grab the 285. We load it at the same time. And then I run back and grab the 245, and I, like, take 2 steps before I even get it to my chest, and I'm hauling ass. And, like, I threw it over the bar, and I beat him by, like, half a second. And I blasted my sternum off the fucking wooden thing. And I'm just like, I, like, scream across the thing at him. I'm just like, I said, woo, let's go. Like, and he, like, confirmed, and then we gave each other a hug afterwards. But you know, after everything shook out, I got 6th. I ended with 197 points. The dudes that won got 100 or 245 and a half, I think Alec had. So I'm very, like, proud of myself, but of course I fucking went there to win, you know?
Right. 6 out of 30 is pretty fucking good, and because everyone's at that level there.
Well, and that's what everyone's been saying. Like, I listened to some podcasts today, like the 580 show is like a very strongman focused weight class or podcast. And then all the people that were there, we were talking, like, the fans and the competitors there. They're like, I've never been a part of a more stacked lineup. And so when I kept hearing that, I was like, man, I might be good at this. Like, I might belong here, you know? So, but, no, bringing Bobby back up. After day 1, I told him, I was like, hey, Bobby, I own your American record law. And he, like, raised his eyebrows. He's like, you don't own shit. And I was like, no. The log you set the American record. He's like, oh, I thought you meant you own my record. I was like, no, fuck, you don't. And I was like, no. I was like, we own the log that you set the record on. He was like, really? He's like, well, it's good to know it's in good hands. He's like, you know, when I went out to do that, he's like, they offered me $6,000 to come out there and break the record. Or they offered him $3,000 to come out and break the record or something like that. And they were going to give him 5 or 6 if he broke it. And then when he got there to do the event, he was there for Clash,
right,
to do the Clash event.
Right.
But the world record, the American record was like a separate thing. And he's like, while he was there, they mentioned that they weren't going to be able to pay him. And he was like, I don't even want to do it now, but I'm going to. And he's like, here's the deal. You either give me that log that I set the American record on, or you pay me like I think he settled it to like $2,000. And they ended up just paying him $2,000. And then he's like, if you don't mind me asking, how much did you pay for that log? And I was like, we paid $1,000 for it. He's like, good on you. He's like, please keep it safe. He's like, use the fuck out of it.
Oh, we
he's
do.
Like, if you if you sell it or hand it off to anybody, just make sure it goes to a good home. And I was like, we ain't getting rid of it, dude. I was told him about Robin. I was like, dude, she got in contact with Steve. If you came and saw this log, dude, you'd be so proud. Like, it's fucking
it's
brand
been
new.
taken care of.
It's brand fucking new, you know? So now that kind of door is open, imagine if I can get Bobby to come up here.
Yeah, get Bobby to come on here and do a fucking seminar.
Yeah.
Probably get people to show up for that. See if we can get him that money back.
Have you ever heard him speak?
Yeah.
The dude is ridiculously intelligent, dude. Like, he is so thought out and so up Brendan's wheelhouse, you know what I mean? Brendan would love to listen to him talk because he's just so
analytical.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. It's just crazy. So, but yeah, dude, I earned a lot of respect this weekend, I think.
Hell yeah.
I proved to myself a little bit I can fucking hang. And I am, other than being just like sore and tired, I am not, I think I had my post-comp blues right after the show ended, and then it ended as soon as we left.
Right.
It was very quick because I was like, I didn't feel like I did Olympic City. I didn't feel like I failed. I didn't feel like I messed something up. I didn't feel like I just gave everything my best fucking effort, and that's what I got. Like, there's nothing I could go back and change and fix to give myself any points. Like, there's nothing. So,
right.
I, got on the phone with John Heck, and we were talking, and I was just like, that's what kind of inspired the idea. It's like, I need to cut my client hours back. Like, I've been telling him, I was like, I got to reestablish my like work-life training ratio.
Right.
Because Dan, I want to fucking win, dude.
Yeah. Let's go, baby.
I think I can do it. So, but yeah, that was the weekend. That was a lot of fucking fun, dude. Grayson and Leona balled out on the beach. Dirt squirrels, dude. They had fucking, my daughter probably ate 5 handfuls of sand. It was awesome. So it was a really good time. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the next PSL for sure.
Yeah. And then, so we had you doing that. We had me doing the Nashville Expo thing, and then Gabby competed as well.
Won.
We'll have to get her on here.
Yeah, she won her. I don't think she want to do this.
She won the novice class, and then she got second in the open overall, which, dude, if you follow bodybuilding, you know that's bullshit. Just the other girl was a bigger bone structured person, so
Gabby
probably has a little
so
muscle.
Good though, bro.
But the level of cut was not even close.
Dude, Gabby was unreal looking.
Like, and that girl, I talked to Gabby a little bit. That girl had competed at that show before. She only signed up for open. They totally just were like, we can't give the new girl the win. That's 100% what happened.
That's how bodybuilding works, though.
There's no fucking doubt in my mind.
It's very subjective.
Yeah.
It's the only sport out there like that. It's
very, and you get a little bit of that in powerlifting stuff too, little friendly commands on things, but like bodybuilding, other than like just dudes wearing thongs, like other than that, like that's the only thing I'm not a big fan of on bodybuilding. It gets very political and subjective.
No, but she crushed, dude. She looks fucking awesome. Incredible. But yeah, dude. And then traveling back right after the show, like I said, the tornado warning and shit was coming. It started pouring ass rain. There's like our car was parked like 2 blocks away because we checked out of the hotel that morning.
Right.
Grayson's covered in sand. Leona's a little cleaned up a little bit, but it starts pouring ass rain, and like, Gray, you gotta rinse off and put new clothes on and shit while it's raining. Like, so we're like putting him under that like beachside shower thing. It's cold. He's fucking screaming, crying. He's like, it's fucking cold. He didn't say fucking, but he's like, it's cold. Like he was not having a good time. And I'm like running through this rain, going to get the car, and I bring it over and we pack it up. And then we drove back. And one thing I want to highlight is my wife, dude. She woke up with me at 8:30 a.m. on Saturday morning, and she did not go to sleep until 3 p.m. on Sunday. She was up for 30 straight hours taking care of the kids, taking care of me, driving me back home, loading the car because my chest was fucking destroyed.
Yeah.
The rental, unloading the rental and loading it back in our car here, and then taking the rental over and turning it back in. Like, I was just destroyed. I like cannot thank her enough. So,
hell yeah.
But yeah. And then I got home and was like, popped some ibuprofen. Decided I was going to mow the backyard to get some blood flow moving around like my chest. And then I got hit in the head with this like dead tree branch that's hanging. And I was like, oh, I'm going to get the ladder out and go try to prune the tree. So I'm like up there with a saw, like, fuck. Like, I don't know why, but I just did. And then, but yeah, dude, for sure. I think Emma made a good point too. She's like, you know, I think everyone here at the gym having a chance to like see me compete with those kind of people, it's like they have an understanding of a whole new level now.
Well, and it's, I think too, it's cool when you get to compete at a high level, and like even when I get to, like, I feel like people forget that like we're actually really good at this shit too. Like, I mean, you more so than me, just because I'm a has-been at this point, but like sometimes you just got to let these fuckers know how fucking good you are, right? And it's nice to get out there and then be like, oh, shit, yeah, Tyler is, he is a current professional lightweight strongman.
Yeah.
And
I so badly wanted to text B and be like, is that pro enough for you, motherfucker?
Yep. Yep. Well, and same thing like when I did that strongman show back in March, it's like, oh, shit. Dan's beating up on some heavyweights, not being a heavyweight. Okay, this old dog's got some fight left. Yeah. Okay. Because
everyone that was here, like Steven, for example, was like, I'm going to beat you. It's like,
they don't know.
No.
Well, and it's the same thing. Like if you ever did a show, there'd be people like nipping at your heels, but you don't know until like, you know, you get in the ring with Tyler and start like doing a strongman show with him. You're like, oh shit. Okay. There's levels.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, I like it when like ownership, management, like the people that just oversee stuff here, like we can get out and like do some shit, or like even Gabby going out like, yeah, Gabby's strong. Yeah. Gabby's lean, but like, oh shit. That's what stage ready Gabby looks like. Holy fuck.
Dude.
Like, I think it's cool for like the members and the athletes here to see like the staff and ownership, like destroying shit that they can't do yet.
And that's why, that's like another reason why I think I want to like put more time and more effort and more discipline into it, because like
be the fucking example.
I can be so much more for this gym and this community if I can do that, in my opinion. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. This is now going to be...
It's like a different aspect, and I mean, I'm not pushing that shit anymore.
How cool would it be like PHP, home of World's Strongest Man 2026, Tyler Pruitt?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's a little bit cooler than PHP, home of the 6th place finisher at Pro Strongman League Championships in 2025. Like, yeah, all my people here are like very proud of me and like, holy shit. But like,
it's a little different
when someone that doesn't know walks in. It's like, hey, that's the world's strongest 231.
Right.
Like at Strongman, he's the guy. Like that would be badass.
Right.
And it's something I've wanted since I started the fucking sport. So,
might as well. You're still in your 20s.
I fucking have to, dude. Got to. I desire to. Speaking of, I was pointing this way. No one can see this, but I was pointing this way because we are danger close to moving.
Yes.
And I'm so excited, dude.
It's getting a little crowded in here.
Yeah, off air, we need to actually talk about that, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
we got the email about the lease and everything, so.
Yep.
But
all right, man. I feel like we should probably call it there. I got Carol. I told her I was going to be running late, and she's cool, but
right on.
She's here waiting on me. So, hell yeah. Check out premeditatedhp.com. Premeditated _ movement.
No, at premeditated movement.
At premeditated movement on IG, at strongman _ Dan, attitudeiron.com. Get your ass to Home Gym Con in Louisville at the end of the month and come party with us.
Yeah, you're going to watch all of our gym podium in the strongman show.
Yeah, the
and
strongman show and
strength
Savage. We're just gonna kill everything.
It's gonna be sweet.
We're gonna come home with a lot of fucking prizes.
I hope so, dude. And a lot of confidence boosting.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Until the next one.